All right, we are live. Hello, Idiots on Parade, the Too Ugly for TV podcast. We mock the news so you don't have to. I am Nathan Timmel, stand-up comedian in Iowa City. With me, as always, is stand-up comedian Jake Vevra from New York City. Hello, Jake.
How's it going?
All is well here. My son just woke up. He is upstairs screaming because he's being told he has to clean up his room, so we could have that. And you have allergies, so it's going to be a fun one for anyone tuning in today.
Yeah. I was in a car with my pets just right on top of me for hours yesterday, and now my whole face is all just completely clogged up. So this may be a disgusting podcast where I'm sneezing and all bassy and stuff like that. So
Not
much apologies. Before we get started, since it's only been out for a week, let me just plug my special again, Unalived by Dog Pills on YouTube. Go check it out. Give it a like, give it a comment, share it with people. Follow me. It's a completely new, virtually unused YouTube page, so I can use all the help I can get. I've been happy with how many people have seen it so far for how few subscribers I have. It actually has been going pretty well, but it's never enough. So give it a like, give it a comment, give it a follow, give it a share.
Nice. Do that, and we'll plug it in at the end. That's it. It's on your YouTube page, Jake Vevera it's what you look up on YouTube to find Jake.
Unalived by Dog Pills.
All right, let's jump in, and we've been doing this every week. We'll run out of topics sooner or later, but every week I find it so amusing that after the election, more and more comes out. My favorite thing this week is internal polling. Internal polling from the Harris campaign showed she never led Trump. They knew she was never in front, that she was coming from behind, but they kept all the DNC officials and especially donors in the dark. Like, I mean, it's all a game. It's all a game. The media portrays it as being close, as Kamala in front, and they knew she was losing. And here's my favorite part of this. Is they knew she was losing and still didn't do the things to help her win. Like, oh, hey, maybe she should go on the most popular podcast ever, because as it turns out, they had internal arguments going on. Like, she can't go on Rogan. Rogan's a misogynist. He's a right wing. You get these little controlling a-holes that think they know everything because they're so smart and liberal and, forward thinking. And oops, you didn't know anything. I mean, come on.
I mean, I agree, but it's also like I don't think going on Rogan makes you not lose in 7 swing states.
Well, it wouldn't have hurt.
Like, there was too much.
If you had done it earlier, if you had started instead of a last minute swing, but yeah,
like you don't lose 7 swing states for any one reason, unless the fact that they didn't have a primary and her side didn't vote. To me, that's the big one. And anybody talking about what did she do wrong during her campaign, and what could the Democrats do next time? Have a primary like that. I mean, that's to me the big one.
Well, that's what I said the day after. On Wednesday morning, I said in 2016, everyone wanted Bernie. They said you get Hillary. In 2020, they said we want Mayor Pete or Bernie. They said you get Biden. Biden pulled it off. And then here they said, when Biden pulled his bullshit, I'm running again, which he never should have done. They said no primary. It goes to the next in line. And this is someone that lost out in 2020, that was unpopular. It's like you are correct. They shot themselves in the foot every step of the way. But it's like,
I think it would be one thing if he had to drop out because he had a sudden stroke or got hit by a bus. Right. But this thing where they turned to their own party and went, hey, I know we said we had an incumbent, but did you guys know he's old? He's like really old. We just noticed. He's like old as fuck, dude. It turns out, after 4 years of them going, no, he's basically a 35-year-old man trapped in an 80-year-old's body. And it was like, dude, people see the videos. What are you guys doing?
Well, here's my favorite. So that I love that. But then, so I sent you a follow-up story, and I love this so much. Ranking the Democrats. Here's who the party could nominate as the next president, and it's a list of options. But the number one option for 2028, Kamala Harris. Really? You really want to do that? You want to turn right back around and say, we know she lost. We know nobody wanted her. So let's put it like, come on.
I mean,
who
just
came up with this
primary.
story?
Have a primary. That's all you're gonna do. It's the old saying: Republicans fall in love, Democrats or Republicans fall in
Fall
line,
in line.
Democrats fall in love. You took the party that falls in love and you gave it an arranged marriage at the last moment to somebody who they voted against like 4 years prior,
Yep.
and you just said, "Let's see how it works out." Well, what did you think was going to happen?
Oh, AOC is on the list for 2028, and I wanted to talk about her because I sent you this story last week and we forgot to talk about it. I like this story. I don't know a lot about AOC. I just know she comes in the news and sometimes she seems, likable, sometimes not likable, part of the squad. I don't like other, but AOC removes pronouns from Twitter, what we know. I think this is a bold move on her part because I remember she was, oh, I can't remember the guy's name. She was fighting with someone in Pennsylvania years ago in 2018, who she was saying, he was
Is it
saying, we need,
Fetterman,
what's
Josh
that?
Shapiro,
Not
Fetterman, or
Fetterman,
Josh
before
Shapiro?
Fetterman, like Connor Lamb. She was arguing with Connor
Okay.
Lamb. Connor Lamb kept saying, we need to go to the center. I am telling you, these people do not want far left candidates. And she's like, no, we need to push far to the left. And here she is coming around saying, maybe people aren't interested in the they, them, she. Like, if someone wants to say, hi, I am transgender, then you respect that. But for every single person on the planet to have to put it out there for less than 1% of the population, that is a bit much for every single person to have to announce what gender they are because less than 1% are differently gendered or were born in the wrong body, however you want to put it. So the fact she is coming around and saying maybe people do not want extreme left, blue-haired land whale politics, I found that interesting.
Well, I don't think putting your pronouns on your bio is that extreme. What I think it
It's not
is it's
extreme. It's just
redundant. Hang on, let me finish though. It's
yeah.
it's
Sorry,
it's,
sorry,
it's
sorry.
redundant. It's that it's redundant. It's that it makes people tune that stuff out. Look, I'm as pro gay as pro trans as they come, but like if for a bunch of people, when you hear like cisgender people sitting around like office meetings, like official work meetings and stuff like that, and announcing their name and their pronouns and stuff like that, it's so redundant. Like a bunch of cisgendered people all just stating their pronouns over and over again. It makes people tune that stuff out.
Yeah, I don't even like cisgender. I think it's a super term. Cisgender. I've said this before. Cisgender to me is like calling a dog a canine instead of a dog. It's like I'm straight. Just call me straight. I want to cut to the chat for a quick
Yeah,
second.
but straight doesn't imply gender. But I hear what you're saying. But
Yeah.
I don't, it's a small part of your day. I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? It's not like it's a slur.
I want to cut to Father O'Brien in the chat. He says Senk would be good too over AOC. Horrible. Senk. Who am I missing on Senk? Who am I drawing a blank on?
Who?
CENK.
I don't know.
Well, I'm asking
Hey,
Father O'Brien to chip in on who he's saying. Father O'Brien, give us who the. So
you'd be
either
better
way,
off running John Stewart, is what he's saying.
yeah. But he said his.
Oh, Sank Unger from
Oh,
uh yeah, I don't think the Young Turks guy's getting a lot of votes, man. I don't,
is
I
that who
think
that
that's
is?
yeah, that's
Oh,
too
so he's
much
playing off
niche.
his John Stewart comment. All right, all
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
His pronunciation is non-Chenk. Okay, I don't know. I'm not familiar. I know who the Young Turks are. Thanks, Sophie and Ken, but I'm not overly. Well,
Yeah.
after the election, after Kamala lost, they said that one of the most effective ads for Trump was he's running for us, she's running for they them. John Stewart, to bring him up, he ran a whole thing showing Democratic ads. Democrats were not running on far left progressive politics. However, they were burdened with it. Republicans said they're running on far left, and
Yeah,
it's
they really were. That drove me nuts the whole time. Is they're sitting there going, they're these far left socialists. And it's like, you mean the prosecutor who won't shut up about how much she loves guns? What are you
yeah.
talking about?
But they were still saddled with it. So the fact that AOC realizes and she is left, she's a member of the squad. So even if the far left realizes, hey, we're hurting the center, I find that interesting. The fact that they're saying, okay, they were able to run on a platform we were not running. They were able to saddle us with a platform we were not running on. So let me do my small part. Like you said, it's a nothing burger. It's 3 words or 2 words, she, her on Twitter, but to take them off, it may help. I don't know.
It's a weird thing to take it off. There's I don't remember what comic friend of mine said this. He had a bit about all the in 2020 how all the businesses in New York and like liberal cities would have like the Black Lives Matter signs in the
Yeah.
windows, and then eventually they kind of all slowly started going down. He had a bit. I don't remember who said it, but I'm going to butcher it. But the premise is just what that must have been a weird day. They actually took it down from the window, and like, did somebody make eye contact with them as they're taking the Black Lives Matter poster out of their window? And like, no, they still matter. It's just not as much as the lunch specials is all.
Right, right, yeah. We want to make a statement, just not a, overt
Right.
political one that shows the world that we're pandering.
Yes, yes. And
Yeah.
so that to me is kind of the same as AOC taking down the pronouns. It's like, yeah, it's kind of redundant to put them there if you're a cisgendered person who like, people don't mix up your gender ever. No reason to have them there.
Yeah.
But when you take them down, it can be seen as, well, you were pandering the whole time, or I don't know, maybe some kind of fuck you to trans people. I don't, you know what I mean? Like you got to expect some blowback for actually taking it down.
I don't know if she got blowback. The article I sent her, everything said that the right was celebrating her, mocking her, like, "Oh, look at her taking him down."
Well, right, yeah.
Yeah. I didn't see if hi Ruda. I don't know if she
You're
got
gonna get
blowback.
mocked by the other side. Your own side's gonna call you disingenuous, shit like that.
Yes. All right. I'm gonna cut. Let's get away from politics for a second. We've got more on there, but I like this story because I'll just read the headline. Elon Musk uses slur to slam Ben Stiller for backing Kamala Harris. The billionaire cited a somewhat misleading headline to ridicule the actor. Elon Musk called Ben Stiller a retard on Wednesday after the actor who backed Vice President Kamala Harris for president said he probably wouldn't have been able to make the 2008 movie Tropic Thunder in today's climate. Here's why I love this. You and I talk about this on the podcast all the time. We get these headlines that say a slur was used, and then they block the entire slur or they hint at it, but they never tell us what it is.
Yeah, you
Very
have to
first
turn
line.
into Tom Hanks in the Da Vinci Code to find the actual slur. You have to go in there,
you have
and
to do
everything. They hint at it,
Sometimes they don't even say, like, they called him the F word for a homosexual slur. They just say slur. They don't even put enough information out for us to guess at what the slur is. So my question is, the very first line is Elon Musk called Ben Stiller a retard. Is it really a slur if it's the first line of your sentence? You're not even hiding it. You are. I know we're not supposed to say the R word anymore, but the sheer fact that it is the first, and this is I got this from HuffPost. This is the far left liberal HuffPost, just writing it there. How damaging is it if that's the first line in your article?
Well, if you're just quoting it, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think.
But half the time they quote it, they say he called her the R word. They couch it. They hide it.
I think that one's slowly coming back is what's happening. You know what I mean? Like, I think the polite society retired its jersey. You know what I mean? They hung the R word up on the rafters, and now they're slowly bringing it back down. Like Mike Tyson coming back to fight Jake Paul. The R word is coming back.
You think it was the Tom Brady roast?
I think people will get mad at it again. But for now, I think it's kind of slowly here again.
Do you think it was the Tom Brady roast? That was the first time I heard it in a while where I'm pretty sure it was the Tom Brady roast where they put it out there because they said faggot.
I mean, I've been hearing it on podcasts and stuff like that.
Oh, are they?
Yeah. Just crazy ones like this one,
Okay. Well, I thought that was interesting. Now he's blasted. But I don't like that line. I don't like that you couldn't make Tropic Thunder. You could. You'd be an independent film. There's always someone willing to back something. It just depends on cost. You might not be able to get a mainstream, a Paramount to back it. I don't know who put it out, but
oh yeah, I don't think you could make it today more because of the budget and the type of movie it is, not necessarily even the offensiveness of the jokes. I think that's going to kill the thing before the actual jokes, just because how many really high budget comedy movies are getting made today at all?
Yeah.
So it's all comic book movies and shit like that, or it's little indie movies.
Yeah, that's a good point because comedy. I'm trying to think, like The Hangover made 200 plus million, but you don't get these mid budget. They don't want to spend 30 million
dude,
to make.
Hangover's like over 10 years old at this point.
It's over 20. It's 20 years old. I think it was 2000.
20 years. Wow,
it's been a long time.
Right. So that's right. But my point is the main reason that's happened to movie budgets is because of streaming. And so people would just stream stuff like The Hangover or Tropic Thunder now as opposed to seeing it in theaters.
And that's what Bill Burr did.
Movies.
Bill Burr did Old Dads for Netflix. It was a #1 on Netflix.
Right.
because Netflix and Amazon spent 200 million on Red One, and everybody. I read two articles. One article said, "Oh my God, it's bombing. It only made 50 million at the box office," but another article pointed out Amazon doesn't care what it makes at the box office. That's sort of gravy. Like they spent 200 million to put it on Amazon. If they get 50 million back from the theater, they're like, "Great, we made 50 million back." But the whole
Yeah.
point was to put it out for streaming.
I
Sophie and Ken puts out a good point. There's a mechanical term like the for a car where you retard the
I
timing
had to
belt.
retard myself. Yeah, but I'm like, nobody's just using that in casual conversation, man.
In
That's like a
a
super
mechanic shop, you
industry.
would. In a mechanic shop, you
In a
would.
mechanic's job, yes, but everyone would know what you're not at a dinner party talking about I retarded my timing. Like if you're like, you
Maybe
did
you're at a
what?
mechanic's Christmas party and it's all mechanics, and someone at the next table hears from
What kind of mechanics are you hiring down there? Jesus, I'm not taking my car down there. We putting all the parts in the wrong places, spilling graham crackers all over it.
Either way. Well, did I have something on well, no, I thought I had something else on Elon Musk, but let's jump from Elon Musk.
There you go. There you go. To prove my point. So if you can on YouTube, I had a YouTube comment deleted for same context. Yeah, because people don't know what the fuck you're talking about when you say it if they're not mechanics. They're like,
Yeah.
they think you're talking about a person.
Oh, I'm gonna talk about this in a short, but I had this happen yesterday. I tried to post a video on YouTube, and it was an update. My dog is in heat, and our neighbor dog has been given her oral pleasures. Like he sniffs her, he's neutered, but he smells she's in heat, and so he just gets in there and starts like, "Ah, la, 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 la," like he goes nuts on her. So I made a title that was jokey. I said, "Ooh, dog in heat graphic update," and YouTube flagged it as being offensive. So I changed the title to puppy in heat update, and YouTube said, "No, that's good."
Now it sounds underage. What are we
Yeah.
talking about?
Well, I'm just saying that literally taking the word graphic out of the title, same content, and YouTube went from, "Hey, I have to
Oh,
flag this," to,
yeah.
"Oh, the same. It's all in the
Graphic makes it
wording."
think you're gonna show dogs fucking.
Well, I did show dogs doing oral, but TikTok, the
Jesus.
same thing. Same
Have you
video
no
yesterday
decency?
on TikTok.
That
Same
should be
video.
flagged. What are we talking about?
What?
I'm pro flagging dog cunnilingus, man. Like, what do you? I agree with the algorithms on this one.
Well, on
What the hell's the
TikTok,
matter with you?
I posted the video 3 times in a row. It kept removing the sound, saying, "Hey, whatever you're talking about, we don't want on our platform." So then I recorded 10 seconds of me saying, "Hey, everybody, I'm trying to post a video, but TikTok keeps removing the sound. So I'm putting this in front of the video, and now I'm going to stitch it in here." Reposted it with that, and then it went through. All I needed to do was talk for 10 seconds about how TikTok was censoring me and then post the video, and it worked. These algorithms are just absurd. You can post whatever content you want if you couch around what they don't want you to see.
I think there's been enough times with things like dog cunnilingus where someone has posted it because they think it's funny, like yourself, but then they've seen the comments just get weird. You know what I mean? Like, got any more spicy content?
Okay,
Got an OnlyFans, stuff like that.
we're
And
going
they're like,
sideways here.
this is impure. We gotta flag this.
I have talked to you about this before, and that one was really awkward. First of all, people saying myself instead of me or I were appropriate is annoying enough, but you just said people like yourself instead of people like you. What the fuck is wrong with you? That is the most fucking retarded use I have ever heard of that term. People like yourself. This trend of using myself or yourself instead of me, you, or I is the fucking stupidest thing in the world.
Dude, honestly, I probably do that a lot because I have no idea what you're talking about right now, man. What are you a thesaurus that came to life, bro? Like, I don't know all these grammar terms.
It's not a grammar term. You just litter for no reason. Well, people like yourself instead of people like you. Why are you making you fancy? There's a trend of saying, well, do you want to go to the store with myself and Bob instead of you want to go to the store with me? It's the most fucking grating thing ever. And when I go postal and take and shoot a play, it'll be because I heard that one too many times.
I have a confession to make. I think I might have accidentally started that trend because I feel like I do that a lot without even noticing. Yeah, I mean, like you were just describing me just now. I do it all the time.
I know. All right, sticking with.
Well, I don't know why people like yourself get so upset about that shit. You know what I mean? Like it's not even that, dude. It flows casually. People like myself don't even notice.
To me, it's the new when people type it, it's the new your versus you, the conjunction you are versus your possessive.
What is
That's
too
what it
damn
is
many
when I
yours?
read it.
I've been saying that for years. You know what I mean? Like I've been on the bad grammar train for a long time.
All right. Okay, sticking with CEOs, we're off Elon Musk. I loved this headline. This CEO fired 90% of his staff for missing a morning meeting. He stands by his choice. Like, oh, wow, this guy just cleaned house. They had a mandatory meeting. People did not log in. They're working from home, apparently. But I can't say. Baldvin Oddson, CEO of a Wyoming-based musical instrument online storefront, the Musicians Club. All right, not really a anyway, not a top 500, not a 500 company here. That's a fired 90% of his staff, 99 out of 110 employees, and here's the fun part, and freelancers. Most of them were unpaid interns. You get into the deep of the article, and it's like, fuck you, you're firing all these people. Like a
Do
job
you know
listing.
how bad of work you have to be doing to where they fire you from showing up for free? Do you know how worthless these motherfuckers are? Literally, me wasting time to correct you and while not paying you is somehow costing so much time out of my day. I'd rather just do it myself. Do you know how bad of an employee you are to get fired as an unpaid, caps lock, unpaid intern? That's rough, man.
Oh, I didn't take it like that. That's a good twist. I like that take that you just gave it because I'm
You're
looking at
so
it.
bad, we won't even exploit you anymore.
But what I want to know is who falls for this. A job listing from earlier this year for an unpaid operations manager role received 51 applicants. The job would provide in-depth understanding of e-commerce operations within a competitive market. I am not sure the online music store is that competitive a market. You know, how competitive is the online music store?
Oh, honestly, probably very competitive because a lot of that stuff are very niche products. And there's only so many companies around that are going to make and sell those things. So if you're trying to break into that market, if you're trying to like, hey, I know you've all heard of Fender, but like check out Bob's guitar. Like
Okay.
it's kind of tough, man.
I guess I was just thinking that it was, well, let me Google it because I was thinking it was like just like a different, like if they're doing independently made handmade craft, that I just figured it was like, oh, buy your saxophone, from me.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't research this man's online music store.
Well,
But
I Googled the musician store. I can't even find it. I'm finding like ads for other shit.
I just like that he had the audacity to actually get angry that the people he's not paying didn't show up on time for the fucking
That's where
Zoom
I
meeting.
took it.
It's like, dude, what do you? Yeah, bud, you kind of get what you pay for here.
Right.
Uh, but on the same token, that means whatever they were doing was so little that he's like, I even having you around here for free is so annoying. I just don't want you guys here anymore.
Okay, so I just found it finally. The musicians, it's global marketplace for music lovers. The Musicians Club is an online store that offers a selection of the best musical instruments and accessories from around the world. So it's not like handcrafted, but it does, whether you're just starting or looking to master a new instrument, our expert instructors offer personalized guidance for your musical goals. I don't understand this. This is very niche because every town has a regular music store. He's trying to become the Amazon of musical instruments, I guess. But yeah, they're not handcrafted. It's not like he's going head to head with Fender. He's just trying to sell like, hey, buy your saxophone from me, buy your snare drum from me.
Yeah, I mean,
And
if
he's
I
got a
was an
vendor list right here. The Clevelander Drum Company. So I'm gonna guess that if you click on Clevelander Drum Company, you get their products, but you could just go to their website and probably buy it for $5 cheaper because he has to have a markup.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if I was an unpaid intern, I wouldn't wake up at 9 a.m. for this horse shit either, man. I'm on the intern side.
Uh, but here we go. I love this part of it. Um, People, it blew up online. He's saying that, oh, how dare you fire these unpaid interns? He posted the event in Lincoln. Well, some people tried to, quote, cancel me. It has completely backfired. Our traffic has surged to over 20,000 views. I just looked it up. Having a bunch of people looking at your website because they're wondering who the fuck you are doesn't mean he does say sales are up. Okay, so he does say sales are up, but it's like just having clicks on your website doesn't count as anything because that's just looky-loos wondering who
I
you
mean,
are.
it's something. It's better than nothing, I
Yeah, I
suppose. You
suppose.
know, I'd still be stoked on it. I mean, if I was, trying, if I had an e-commerce site, I would be happy people were clicking on said site.
Sophie and Ken says he copied that from a TV show. The consultant Christoph Waltz fires everyone who doesn't show up. Huh, so he's hacking. So this guy's a hack. He saw Christoph Waltz
Yeah, but
thing.
I'll bet Christoph Waltz was firing people he was actually paying. Therefore, it had a little more fucking weight to. Is it truly firing if you weren't paying the person in the first place, or is it just a fancy fuck off? That's what I think it was.
And Christoph Waltz probably did it in four languages. He did it in English, French, German, and Italian. Those are the four he spoke in Inglorious Bastards. So he did that for four languages.
That's right. He spoke the first best Italian in that movie.
He did. All right. Next story. This is from Twitter, Rudy Giuliani. The reality is, I have no cash right now. Right now, if I want to call a taxi, I can't do it. I don't have a credit card. I don't have a checking account. I have no place I can go to take cash out except a little bit that I saved, but it's getting down to almost nothing. I love it when bad things happen to deserving people. This is from the lawsuit where all he did was rail on election workers. Two of them said, fuck you, you put my life in danger, sued him and won. I this goes back to what we were saying about Alex Jones. Maybe don't be an asshole. This is all on you. You fucking lied and lied and lied, and good.
Dude, how bad does Giuliani wish he could take a time machine back and retire on 9/12? Huh? People fucking loved him on 9/11. That was like peak. He got rid. Dude, the first half of that man's career compared to like the last third is insane.
Yeah.
People here, both left and right, love Giuliani. He got rid of the mafia for the most part in New York.
Mhm.
Like he cleaned up Times Square. Like he did all kinds of stuff. New York was a crime-ridden shithole before that guy. I didn't even live here back then, but like everybody here.
Well, I visited it. I got to see the tail end of the Times Square as seen in the Warriors or the movies from back then. I got to experience the tail end of that. It was pretty neat. Prostitutes and such. Yeah, and now it's family friendly. And stop and frisk. People hated it. Got results. Got results.
And look, there were people saying, well, he uses it, the cops are using it more against brown and black people and things like that.
Right.
Like, I'm not saying it was perfect, but
no,
like,
not perfect.
Like you said, it got results. For the most part, people loved him. Then 9/11 happened, people loved him even more. And then he started doing all this crazy going after poll worker shit for Trump. And hey, now that Trump's president, you think he's going to help him out? Like, is he at least going to give him some legal fees? I don't know. Something.
I don't know. Like, because Trump has said he's going to pardon January 6thers. I don't know how much he can. I don't know how much power he has with it. Like, this is a decided case. I don't think he can.
Right, because this is a civil fine, right? I don't know that there's any like overturning those in a presidential pardon, is there? I mean, I don't even know what the legality of that is.
No, I have no idea. Sophie and Ken says that the media said he was spending $30,000 after being found liable.
Maybe hell yeah, dude, that's the move. If you know that you owe somebody like
get rid of it.
Dude, you just go full Brewster's Millions until the fucking day comes when you get. I mean, dude, you're drinking champagne for breakfast. You're mailing expensive stamps to people. You're going crazy.
Yes. I forgot. This wasn't a story. I clicked over to the things I sent you, and I sent you a screenshot. I'm glad because I'd forgotten about this. Donald Trump put on Truth Social, I will be working on a large-scale United States advertising campaign. I just had a pop-up explaining how bad fentanyl is for people to use. Millions of lives being so needlessly destroyed. By the time the campaign is over, everyone will know how really bad the horror of this drug is. Donald Trump just invented the Just Say No campaign from the 1980s.
Yeah.
He's in the 1980s, it was Nancy Reagan and Just Say No. In the 1990s, it was an egg in a pan. This is your brain on drugs. When has advertising ever worked? This is the PMRC. This album contains explicit material so that kids, drugs are bad. Well, maybe I want to try them. Like, when has advertising against drugs ever worked? Like, I can't believe it's 2024 and we're bringing up the Just Say No campaign.
When at least with Nancy Reagan and all them, they were saying just say no to the drugs you're trying to buy. No one's out there going, hey, do you have any fentanyl? They're buying other shit, and the fentanyl's
And it's
getting
in
put in
there.
there.
Yes.
So, like, who's the campaign for? Is it for the guys that are cutting the drugs? You know what I mean? Is the campaign just going, I know that you guys need to stretch a bag, but have you thought about stretching it with Oxycontin or something like that? Just a little bit of Oxycontin and baking soda. The fentanyl, it works good as long as you cut it evenly, but the problem is you get a little bit of too much in this one baggie and not enough over here to where one person, they feel nothing, and the other person, they go to the morgue.
I have told I've used this example on the podcast before. I heard an interview with someone in law enforcement that said they're not trying to kill people with fentanyl. They're not trying to kill them. They're
No,
just
they're not.
cutting the.
They're stretching the bags.
Right. And what he said was the way he explained it, he said, have you ever made a batch of cookies and every so often there's just a little bit of unmixed flour in the cookie? Like you're
Right.
whipping up the flour, you're making the cookies, but one little patch of flour, that's what the fentanyl is. They're doing it on accident. They're just trying to stretch it because they don't want to kill their customers. They want to keep selling them drugs. So yeah, it's dangerous, but it's not like
Right.
they're out there like an evil cartoonish, like, oh, we're gonna put the fentanyl in and kill Americans. They like to that say they do hate Americans. Say it's all money still trumps hatred. They want to sell us the drugs. I'm not saying it's good, but I am saying every death is accidental. They want customers. It's like, God, it was in the Batman movie, The Dark Knight. Look what you do to my customers. Is like, paying customers. Yeah, they want to sell them drugs. So,
well, right.
yeah.
It's the equivalent of, like, let's say there was a form of tequila extract where one shot was equal to like 100 shots of tequila. And you're like, oh, I know, but it's super cheap, And you're like, I could punch up my margaritas by just dumping some, like, one of these in a giant margarita mixer. And it's like, okay, that's going to work good, but you better hope that little spinning hand is mixing that thing completely evenly. Otherwise, one guy's getting a super weak margarita and the other guy just did 20 shots at once, and he's probably going to fucking die now.
Yeah. I want to know what's happening in the chat. We just had the one and only Nicole had 2 messages retracted. I want to know if Nicole pulled them back because one was pretty fucking racist. She shot something out there that said, hey, don't buy drugs unless you're black. And I was going to turn it and say, that's pretty goddamn racist. But then it disappeared. And the comment before that, I don't remember, says retracted too. I want to know if YouTube is pulling those back or if she realized how bad that was and pulled it. Anybody else in the chat? AC, did you see that? Sophie,
you think she sobered up and was like, I should quit shitting on black people online. I have a job at
did
working
you see,
on the local school board.
It popped up while you were talking. I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna have to call that one out. I said, don't do drugs unless you're black. I'm like, we are not afraid to pull a joke here, but that one was a little, I'm not sure how jokey joke that was. That was a little
to be fair, I didn't read it. Maybe it was hilarious. I don't know. Put it in there again. Let's see.
Put it in for the world.
Yeah. I'll be the judge of that.
All right. What are we to now? Let's see. I don't want to talk that one. Okay, here. This is the first one I sent you. For months and months until South Park called them out, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry were going around with their leave us alone. We want to be normal people. We're going to give up our titles. We don't want to be treated like royals. That seems to have failed because
we're just going to live in a normal mansion like a normal person,
right?
Not a castle.
I don't understand this headline. What did Harry and Meghan actually do? Sussex's released trailer for a new Netflix polo series, but they're nowhere to be seen. I watched the trailer, and it literally says from executive producers Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. What happened to removing your titles? You got that front and center now. Like 1 year ago was we want to be normal millionaires. You're back on, and this trailer for this polo show, I don't get it. It's like the Real Housewives of Assholes on steroids with Lamborghinis and the Sport of Kings. And they
were like, well, our podcast thing that Netflix paid us a boatload of money for. A lot of people didn't watch it because it turns out that us trying to pretend to be normal people, we're still pretty out of touch with normal people. How can we see more in touch with normal people? The sport of polo, the stuff that the average everyday man loves,
Well, that's what it says in this article. I can't tell who's being interviewed. Any reasonable person tuning into a show about polo made by Prince Harry would expect Harry to take a starring role. They're producing; he's not in it. They're putting their name on it. That he's not in the show is disappointing for Netflix. Here we go. Let's face it, polo isn't exactly a mainstream sport, so the attraction would have been to watch Harry. Without him, it's marginal at best. Their Netflix deal expires next year, so the Sussexes, I guess that's what the name they're going by, need a big hit. This sounds like a big nothing burger. Yeah, they're throwing their name on it there because I mean, so you're saying we want to be normal people, but here is a show about the sport I grew up playing because I'm a royal.
It's you even look at the crowd. It's a small crowd because you have to be a billionaire lizard person to watch or know anything about the sport.
Yeah,
They all
it's not
flew
like
there on
NASCAR. There are not
helicopters and shit.
stadiums. It's not football. There are not stadiums.
No, it's an open field with a fancy bleacher with a bunch of Lamborghinis and helicopters surrounding the place that all the athletes and managers and audience members took to get there. It's the wildest shit.
Yeah. All right. We are out of time on the Zoom. I clicked over. So let's cut off there. We'll turn to the chat and then we'll sign off. So you can find me at nathantimmel.com. My special's been out for just under a year. That's called Unapologetic. It's on YouTube. I have a t-shirt store. Everything links through nathantimmel.com. Jake can be found at Jake Vevera, Vevera. His special, Unalived by Dog Pills, is on YouTube. Go give it a like, a follow. You know, he's building up his YouTube channel.
Show it some love, comment, share it
Yep.
with a friend.
Boost that algorithm. And so we are going to jump off the Spotify recorded podcast, the whatever. We're going to jump over to live and see if there are any comments left. So thanks for tuning in, listeners.
Prince Harry and Meghan Markle put fentanyl in Queen Elizabeth's caviar. They're murderers.